Bring the horns in. And I ain't get to skate it. It's been a security. It's all that to hate it. Hate it. You're a half a banana. Wave in the pen. And all like you're the same as the make a sense of how you feel. All the brothers in the place, make sure you get your dog on the mother. One, nine, to that old six, all the mother rats. How we keep them open, like man who broke this, big man who broke this. But on this line, guys, everybody together. When that train by, something like the old brothers in the school, get them boys a glass of water and we turn them into ice cubes. I always make the right move. Scholars to doctors, the lawyers all the way to freedom. Big higher moves, I was no hands. The boys talking out shit. After the song, the music girls talk about it. But girl, you never seen a girl standing out here. Like for love, Hey, what's good, everyone? I want to thank you guys for joining us for the inaugural episode of Ice Cold Chatter, brought to you by the Alpha Psi Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated here in Columbia, South Carolina. Hashtag Capital City Alphas. So we want to start by letting you know who we are. I'm Hook. I'll be serving as your host. I got my boy Dean here with me. Dean, tell the people who you are.
You literally just said my name. So I'm D'Angelo Dean, the chapter brother.
Absolutely. And today we have a what may end up being a very controversial topic. I mean, we'll see how we'll see how it goes, man. So we're gonna be discussing: do men love more authentically than women? And we have a couple here who's gonna give their expertise on the topic. So Shanae, Sab, if you guys want to go ahead and tell the people who you are, have at it.
So I'm Shanae Washington. I am a wife, a host, mental health advocate, and we have our own podcast as well, called Relationship Tuesdays. So I'm ready.
I am Sav. I come on her show every third Tuesday of the month for the Relationship Tuesday. Name of the show, Let's Talk Tuesday. It's a great show. Um, yeah, get your health together, get your mental health together.
Absolutely. Hey, make sure y'all check him out, man. And this episode is gonna be streamed not only on Facebook, it's also gonna be on Instagram and YouTube. So just search Capital City Alphas and let you people know, man. But I think this is gonna be a really good conversation. So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So I'll just go ahead and ask. So what do you guys think? And Shanae and Sav, I want to hear from you first, obviously. Do you guys think that men love more authentically than women? What are your thoughts on that?
Want me to go first? Yeah, I definitely think men love more authentically than women do. Um, Honestly, all right. So it's speaking on a broad basis. So for a woman to love, normally they look for like certain factors. I say finances being one, strength, dominance being another. They look for the alpha male or the high value man, as it's been quoted now. That's normally what like the top. I'll say 10%. If you're not that, they don't even see you. Whereas you can be none of that stuff, and a man will just love you for you and be willing to take care of you, whether they have that stuff or not. So I look at it from that standpoint. But that's not for everybody. That's just generally speaking.
Okay, Shanae, what say you?
For me, I feel like women love more authentically than men do. I feel like there is when it comes to relationships, I feel like women it's shown in different ways as far as like if you're dealing with somebody who is not on your level, a lot of women I feel like love through nurturing or trying to make the man something that they want them to be. And I feel like it comes from a good place. It's just not our assignment, but it's something that we take on. So I feel like all the while, women are nurturing and loving and trying to create essentially this man that they would like in the man that they are currently dating. Um, and I don't really feel like men are interested. Like they just want to be themselves and do whatever they want to do.
The thing is, men are interested, but if the women don't get the project correct, if they don't get an A on the project, they're gonna leave the man. The man don't be the one that's leaving. So it's like the man will stay there and be his authentic self, trying to love the woman authentically like he is going to do. But the woman, once the woman sees, oh well, I can't turn this horse into a dog. I'm out to go. It's a horse. It's not gonna be a dog. You're gonna love this horse or you're gonna leave. But that women mostly leave. So
Okay.
I,
Dean, what do you say, Dean? Anything you want to add?
So I'm going to start off with a quote. Like I can't remember who said it, right? I think it was a comedian. I think it was Dave Chappelle. I'm sorry.
Chris, I guarantee it was Chris Rock, but go ahead.
Okay, matter of fact, it was Chris Rock, and it states that women and children are loved unconditionally, but men are loved on the conditions that they can provide.
Chris
yeah,
Rock.
that was Chris Rock. Yeah.
Chris Rock. So you have to go back. I think initially, um, from the beginning, right? And I'm not going to get biblical on this page, and I'm not trying to get us sanctioned here, but definitely going to say this: men have always loved through, no matter what, right? And some people view that as providing. Some people see that as leadership, but anything like men tend to always, no matter what, take the burden of the stress. It's why it is why you look at my wife. I look like I'm 50 and she still looks in her 20s. And just like you guys, like you take on the you take on the burden of the family. So it's, I always think that women love men that provides what they need and not truly what men need. So do men love unconditionally more than women? 100%. Because I can take you and your four kids and that doesn't belong to me and make you my wife, make those my children, raise these children like they're my own. But some women don't value men the exact same way. Or he got three baby mamas, or he doesn't have this. Like you said, Shanae, more so they're not on your level.
Yeah.
To what scope? Because you can take a woman's job. My point of view is to take the potential. You remember our conversation, Shanae? You take the potential and you make that person what you want them to be.
Yeah.
Because most men are not stagnant, but they're comfortable because their version of success is just that.
Right.
But you take that person who barely got out of high school and now about to get a doctorate degree. You take that person, you give that person you unlock the potential they have. So do men love more than women unconditionally? 100%.
And you guys, like, I think all three of you, there's really a lot to unpack with what you just said. Because, well, let me preface my comment by saying that when we talk about this topic, we already know that not all men and not all women are the same. So we're not speaking across the board like this is the end all be all, like all women are like this and all men are like that. It sounds like, just listening to what Shanae was saying, is that she feels that women love more authentically because they take the man, and I guess for lack of a better word, they attempt, she takes him for who he is, but she attempts to mold him and make him better and to try to push him towards his goal. Totally, and I totally agree with that. But to Sab's point, when you look at it that way, some men may look at that as being a project. So let's say that you aren't able to mold this person, so you don't get an A on that project. You get a D minus or an F because you weren't able to make him who you felt that he should actually be. Now, when we talk about like men versus women, and I've always said this in that Chris Rock quote, I love the quote because I think that women love men. There's always a condition there. I think there's always a condition. Men are expected to provide. We are expected to, if in just using an example, if a couple gets kicked out of their house, right? People aren't looking at the man. I mean, people aren't looking at the woman. They're looking at the man like, how in the hell did you let this happen? Like, how did you allow this to happen? So with the, not saying the women don't have responsibilities, because they do, but I think that with men, we already come into it knowing that, okay, we already know we have this, and Dean said it, you have the burden of the entire family on your shoulders. Now, I'm in a house full of women, so obviously I know that my wife does a whole lot within the house, but I also ultimately know that the burden of the family to make sure that we are where we need to be is squarely on my shoulders. But again, you guys there were a lot of things to unpack there, but I do want to ask you, so do you think that men experience feelings of love faster than women? Do you think that's part of it? Because I know that and I can only speak for self. If I love you, like I can date women but that don't mean I necessarily love them. But if I love you, like there's a genuine feeling there. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't say that I've been in love often. You know what I mean? So do you think that men experience those feelings of love faster, or do you think it takes women? Do you think it takes men a lot longer to get there than women? So what do you say?
For me, I know, I mean, I'm a science nerd, so I know for me, like scientifically, it doesn't happen. Like when men and women have sex or interact, like they don't, like women release like oxytocin, the love hormone in their body, and men do not. It's a whole different hormone that is released. And so over time, I'm sure that that's something that happens for men, but like from a scientific standpoint, I'm pretty sure it's the women that fall in love first.
Well, that's if you equate falling in love with having sex. So, excuse me. Um, I think normally men fall in love first if it is the person that they see the value in. If it's somebody that they just want to smash or just want to whatever, but we're not going to ever fall in love with them. They're just going to use them for whatever they want. as far as sex or just company, whatever it may be. But when it is so, like, take her for example. I was doing a lot of dating before I met her, but I fell in love with her, and I fell in love with her fast. And it's because I knew that she was the person that I was supposed to take care of in the way that only she gets taken care of in that way. That doesn't mean I didn't take care of other people. That just meant that I was just solely doing the obligation for them. But the feelings and the obligation, she got that, and she got that pretty much right off the bat. But I, well, if I have to pick one, I guess I would say men may fall in love faster, but I think it may be more 50-50 or 49-51, if I'm going to be completely honest. Um, just being completely honest.
Okay.
Okay, Dean.
So, stop laughing, Shanae, because you know where I'm about to go, right?
Anytime you start with "so," I already.
You know, I think men say "I love you" faster than women do. I really do think that. Sometimes it's a loaded "I love you." Sometimes it may not be. But I'm a firm believer that love is an action verb, and I think women tend to show more authentic love when it comes to the men. I think that from the beginning, if she sees you as that person, she's going to pour into you and ensure that you're on your path. Um, but I honestly believe that men may experience, like I told my wife, I love you. And I don't think we were dating at the time. I think we were just in that getting to know stage. I might have had a different girlfriend. She might have had a different boyfriend, but we were at college, which, you know, if you go to college, you understand. If you don't, that's on you. But we were getting to know each other. So I think I said I love you first. A way like faster than I think I've ever tell somebody anything. But again, I saw potential in her as she saw in me, and almost 20 years later, I made the right choice, I feel. And so I think men may feel the love first, but I think they're just too shy to say it and don't get played.
Yeah.
So they're
I
going to
don't
try to
think
push
shy
it.
is the word.
What's the word?
I think that their ego, they're too prideful, like the old people say. They're too
I
prideful to say.
don't know, Shanae. No. Remember now, I was at the beginning of our relationship. So so Monty came in very intentional about what he wanted, what he was going to say, and who you were to him from the get-go. So definitely I know that Monty came. Sorry, Sav came. Man, your name is Monty, bro.
Monty.
He came in with the idea of this is my wife and she's going to be my wife. So like,
sure, I'm not. I mean, yes, but I'm just talking about in general. I just feel like women feel it first, but it's possible that men feel it first, but their pride is or ego is not going to let them speak it first. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I could understand why she's saying pride, only because I think in this case, pride and shyness may be interchangeable. Like we're too shy to say it first because we may not receive. It may be the ultimate rejection to where, hey, I've never loved somebody like this before, but we pretty much go 2 and 10 anyway, like on day 2 and 10, 3 and 10 or whatever. But this is the one that I actually love. If I tell her I love her and she doesn't feel the same way about me, like it's gonna hurt. And now I'm gonna dial back and I don't know what I'm gonna do. You know, I'm gonna go being hurt. Right. So I didn't want to say that, but yeah, I'm gonna go back to these streets or whatever. But I think it's shyness that's attached to the pride that men may not say it first.
So
but,
we have
we
two
feel it though. We feel it for sure.
It's my bad, Monty. We have two quotes. So one from Broughton, Anthony Broughton, that says, "Many people say we shouldn't bank on potential," and then Miss is it Irisha? Miss Williams. Let's go with that.
That's my wife, yo.
Boom. Says So there it is. So women fall in love first, but we can even fall in love with the idea of a man and not what he actually does. And I think that's true. The idea of a man always ruin a relationship. I told my daughters we don't date potential.
Yeah.
Like we don't love for potential.
Yeah.
Take that person as for face value.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
So
I think that was something that's important, and so all of this kind of makes me think like the whole science brain thing. Like, does this seems like it goes back to childhood as far as women are concerned, because it's like if we think if we are as women are having men to think that we love them with a condition, like, oh, I love you if you provide, or it has to, like, it's just not love, then it's just like, where are our fathers? Like, where are the men in our lives that are supposed to be making these types of standards for us in our lives? That's just kind of where I go in my mind. And then when you say that, like, so for me, I didn't learn that whole potential thing until I mean, like, honestly, what, 7 or so years ago? Because for me, like, I've always been able to see the potential in someone, man, woman, it doesn't really matter. And so that potential is what fueled my commitment to that person, even though I saw several red flags. My commitment to them was fueled by, oh man, if he just does this, then he could, like, I mean, we could, like, I see him being so much, like, you could, that what you're doing right now, you could turn that into this. And like, and because I am a creative like that, it's easier for me to voice that to the person, and I expect them to take it and run with it and actually, like, consider that and do something with it. But it's like everybody doesn't, that I have had the experience with, that's intimidating for somebody who's told that kind of thing.
I think it's annoying. I don't think
What?
it's more intimidating. I think it's annoyance because you see the potential in what you like about them, that you want them to do. And that can be completely different, like I said earlier, than than the potential that they want to bring out of them in something else. So it's like it's a constant battle of, she's trying to force me to go down a road I don't want to go down. That's annoying, not intimidating. So that's unfortunate, that we often stay in situations like that without verbalizing exactly what it is, or if it is verbalized, it's taken completely different. But like, loving for potential, like Dean said, that's dangerous. But what I will say, you had mentioned something about, I think you said where the fathers, or what are the fathers teaching them
As far as
right. So whether a father is there or not, if they're there and the father does for them, they're gonna be like, oh well, my daddy can do this. What do I need you for? If the father isn't there, they're going to be like, well, I need somebody to take care of me. So it all drives down to being in love with the idea of a provider, not in love with the actual man. So you just need to cut and paste man there. And he better be a provider or this isn't going to work, essentially.
Yeah, I think for me, I didn't have, that's not the experience that I had. Like, my father died when I was 13, and I've always had to be independent. So I was. So for me back then, it was like, I don't need a man. Like, I can do that stuff for myself. So I wasn't ever dating to be taken care of, because all of this stuff, you like, I can do this for myself. So it wasn't like, oh, I think very recently, and we've kind of, me and Dean have had these conversations, like, I've kind of had to be like chiseled a little bit into being softer. Chiseled into being much softer, because I mean, I was always independent. So it's like, I got what I wanted. If I felt like I couldn't have it, I worked till I was able to get it. And so it's like, there wasn't anything in my perspective and through my life that a man was able to provide for me that I couldn't give to myself, except like some warm deep.
And I think the thing of it is though, because you guys mentioned fathers, right? And I'll use myself as an example. Like my dad was not an active fixture in my life, and by not active, I just mean he just wasn't there. So
Right.
he's just non-existent, right?
For sure, yeah.
So I had like my older brother and cousins and uncles, stuff like that, but I didn't have somebody in the house with me to show me how to love a woman or what the feelings of love look like. Whenever I went to school and came back home, they were like, they asked me, they asked me like, how many girlfriends you got?
Right.
So I'm thinking I'm supposed to go out and get as many women as possible.
Yeah.
And so then when I got older, I'm dating all these different women, right? So all of a sudden I start getting these feelings. And so to go back to y'all point, y'all talking about like pride or ego. I don't think it's pride, neither ego. I think it's just fear. Like if you going your whole life just going from woman to woman to woman, and you start developing these feelings, you're like, what the hell is this? Like I ain't supposed to feel like this.
Yeah.
So the woman may love you, like I may be in love with her, but I ain't gonna say it first. You know, like I'm gonna, until I know when she says, "Hey, I love you," then I'm like, okay, I'm still wait a little while, but okay, I know how she's feeling, because then I don't want to say it first because I don't know what she's feeling. I could think she loves me, but honestly, I don't know for certain. So I've always been a hopeless romantic, so I do develop feelings. I do fall in love quick. So even if I felt that way, I wasn't gonna be the one to say it. I wasn't gonna be the first to say it. I'm gonna let her tell me how she feels, and I'm just gonna follow suit. But I don't think it's pride or ego. I just think that it's simply fear. But that's
That's
just
a
me.
good perspective. I didn't ever think about that. But question. So, okay, so we'll just put it out there. So he's gonna tell a different story, but the story that you're hearing right now is what actually happened.
Okay.
So okay, so our relationship was kind of like it still is like fast track, like from the beginning. So we met on the 20th, and then like a couple days, maybe I'm gonna say 4 days later, like I had already known that I was going to marry him. I heard God say that, but I didn't, like I wasn't, that's stuff like that don't happen in real life. So I was like, yeah, no, that ain't okay, all right. So I just went back on the Bumble app and I was just doing whatever, because I didn't believe that, like I've never had an experience like that, and I didn't believe that it was that easy essentially. So day 4, and he was very like meticulous, very communicative, all the things, as far as like very I don't really know the word, but he would ask like for consent, like, is it okay that I like text you or call you at this time, whatever it was. And so yeah, I was able to notice very early on that, like, oh, this man is serious. Like he wants exactly what he has said with me, like everything that we talk about, like he, like all the things as far as like my list that I had. So 4 days in, I was at a point where I was like, you know what? Because I was trying to do everything to scare him away, because I'm like, this is gonna happen like this. So I told him, I was like, because this is how I learned to be able to like get them out of it. And I was like, you know, I think I love you. 4 days in. And he was like, he didn't say it back. He didn't say it back, but I still felt that. So I had to, like, I felt like I was going to explode if I didn't say it. But my question to you is, did you feel love for me, or did you know that you loved me before I said it? Or is that something that developed afterwards?
So it was 3 days. And yeah, like I knew that at that point early on, I was like, oh yeah, I love this lady. Like this is different than anything that I've tried to force before. It was natural, and like I wanted to like take care of her because I wanted to take care of her, not because it was just like the obligation to take care of somebody because that's what you're supposed to do. But yeah, like I knew that, and I did say, well, yeah, I love you too, because I like.
So why didn't you say it first?
Because I was prideful and, and fearful. We gonna keep it a buck. Yeah, I was I was like, bro, if I say this, John, first off, I don't want it to come off like love bombing or something like that. So I was like, bro, I'm not about to say this, bro. We are days in right now, so I'm not about to say this right now. I'll wait a month, 2 months, 3 months. I'll wait it out if we still rock it. But like, yeah, no, I wasn't about to say it that early. But when she did, I was like, cool. I am really able to express what it is that I'm feeling, obviously, because we here now. She love you boys. So I'm about to go ahead, press forward. Yeah, thank you.
And I think too, because one thing that's kind of been tossed around as well is dating for or loving for potential, right? And I think that kind of to what the fellas are saying, I think the women love for potential more than men do. Because honestly, and I don't think men have a whole lot of expectations from women. Obviously, you want them to be. You you want them to, you have certain expectations, but it's not like a whole list. Like they have to be financially sound, they have to be this, that, and the third. I don't think it's that, but I think that we genuinely love women for who they are.
It's a different
And
kind of list. I think that y'all. I don't think it's. I think it's BS to say that y'all don't have a list.
No, the thing is,
I said we have a list, but our list isn't quite as long as y'all
It's
list.
right, we have a list, and y'all list also has all of our stuff on y'all list. We just have just our 6 things. Y'all have our
You
6
say-
and the other 22 or 23 things that y'all need. So it is a different type of list. I definitely agree with what you said.
So Hook, one of the things I jotted down here, and I have my little cheat sheet here on the side. It says men do not base their love off of the way women makes them feel, and also that men do not allow romance to dictate the decision on making a spouse.
What?
Men do not allow romance.
Suspense.
All right. So I need you to elaborate to my woman brain what that means.
Okay, so for example, a man can take you on date nights, vacation, trips, and everything. Those aren't expression of loves. That's the perks of companionship.
Right? That's a what?
That's the perks of companionship. That's not love.
Right, meaning whether you're here or not, somebody was going to get this same trip, essentially, because you're my companion. Like,
so what to me love is, and what love has always been, that when I'm not feeling myself, I'm comfortable to come talk to you about that. That's the definition of love. So do I feel secure regardless of the situation with you? And while you may think men have lists, did she like me? Is she noted for the streets? Did none of my homeboys touch her? Yeah. Did she have a brain? Did she hold a conversation? Mm-hmm. Did she have goals? Did she have an identity within herself? That's it. Those are pretty simple things men look for. Can I take you home and my mom don't say why? That's it. you know what I mean? So definitely I think that how we base relationship and love are different. Like it goes back to, do we provide love, look for love the exact same way? And we don't. Again, I think it's more so of what men provide or bring to this table, and I did not want to use the word table, and what women accept from men. So
what she accepts or what she expects?
Accept.
And to Dean's point, just like some of the things that I love about my wife, she's goal oriented. She can hold a conversation. She's smarter than I am, and I think I'm pretty damn smart. But the fact is, I know that she's going to push me, is what I know, right? And also, most importantly, though, is I can be myself around her. There are things that she knows about me that even my closest family members don't know and will never know. And this was before we even became a thing. Even it's one of those things, like, because Lord knows I fought it for the longest, right? because and she and I would go back and forth because I knew she'd like me, but I'm like, well, I'm whatever. But the more that I was around her and I knew, I'm like, you know what, I need to make this, I need to make an honest woman of her, right? But again, I'm fighting back and forth, trying to just do
Being a
whatever.
hero, that's what you.
Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But
you was
yeah,
out there cooking.
exactly. But the fact is,
I saw me.
right? Hey, I see what you did there. But the fact is like I can, like, even on my worst days, like I can be vulnerable. I can cry in front of her. I'm like, you know what? I'm not my best today. I can't be the protector because I need protecting myself emotionally. And she understands that. And to me, that's invaluable. That's probably the most important thing above all.
Yeah, that's a dangerous, like, first off, crying in general as a man is dangerous. Crying in front of a woman and it being the woman that you are attempting to create life with, that can get you like casted away. So it's like that's something that we learn early, so we just don't do it, or if you do it, like, you're not going to be taken serious.
Right.
And I'm at a point where like I can legit cry in front of my wife. Now it's hard for me to cry, but like when I cry, bro, I'm crying. Like I got to cry. And she doesn't, at least I don't think she looks at me. She can be in that check, girl, this man. I don't know.
I'll never tell.
But right. But like at least like I feel safe enough to do that to where I wouldn't have any time before.
And I think that's just, that's just one of those things. And because obviously with the woman, we expect women to be more emotional and show their feelings and communicate. But I'm a communicator. Like, I'm not one, like, a lot of women say men don't communicate and they don't know how to. I'm different. But in past relationships, I've been, I guess, seen as a less than a man because of those same things. Because I'm not, I know in one past relationship, right? Whenever we were cohabiting, and whenever she got upset with me, she wanted me to sleep on the couch. And I'm like, I ain't about to sleep on no couch in no house I'm paying bills in. So, but to her, that was natural. But for me, look, before I go sleep on the couch, let's talk about it. Let's before we go to bed, we can't go to bed angry. And that's what me and my wife do now. We may disagree. We honestly, since we've been married, we haven't had one argument. We talk about it, but we never go to bed at a disagreement. Like, we still may not agree, but we just gonna agree to disagree. But we gonna like talk about it before we go to bed. And I think that's really the most important thing.
How long have you been married?
2 years this past December.
Oh wow!
No, that's too.
Wait,
y'all got married the same time frame.
What's your date? December what?
4th.
December 12th.
Oh wow! That's crazy. That's wild.
But yeah, I definitely agree. Like, honestly, I think more men communicate than don't. It's just women don't like the words that are coming out, so they don't call that communication. They call it something else. So,
or they don't choose those kind of men. Because for me, like, I didn't like when he from the beginning like would communicate so much, because that's what it was to me. Like, I'm like, just like you said, looking at him sideways, like, what? Why are you so in touch with your emotions? Like, what you got something to tell me? Like, but
yes, I'm trying to tell you now.
But it was just like, it wasn't something that I was used to. But I feel like the reason that if a woman says that, it's possible that she's not with a man that is self-aware or is emotionally intelligent. That's what I'm finding out, because there are a lot of men that are not emotionally intelligent and don't know how to express like what they're feeling, and everything comes out as anger. But I mean, like, there are men that are like, okay, well, yeah, this is what I'm feeling and this is what we need to do. Like, how can we solve this? And I think the other thing about him that was that drew me to him or whatever is that he was always a problem solver. Like, he wasn't like how you're talking about Hook, as far as like we're not going to bed angry. I'm like, I don't apply. Nah, just don't touch me. Don't put your foot on me. Like, we'll talk tomorrow. I need to cool off, or I like. But he was always like, he knew how to say things to be able to get me to be soft.
Mm-hmm.
And so then that opened up the conversation of, what are you really mad about? Like, what is this? What's happening? Like, and then like, so yeah, I mean, it's been a lot of work that's been going on, but if it wasn't for him, I would feel the same way. Like, men they don't express their emotions. They don't know how to do that. Like, my friends who are married, just like, girl, you know how men are. They don't, and I'm like, no, that
Right.
don't apply to, like, I know several men that, yeah, but if it wasn't for him, and of course Dean, then I wouldn't be aware that men are able to express their emotions and be able to communicate effectively.
Absolutely.
Listen, I'm sitting here like a proud father, just like, oh, we's made it. We's made it. Because you know, I know we got people from Charleston watching. I'm not going to try to make them upset, but as soon as a woman from downtown Charleston feel like they're being played with, that's a difference in mindset. So I'm thankful that Monty can sleep with both eyes closed.
I go to sleep first and everything.
I know, right? And Lord knows, man, like my intent was to save this question for the last 5 minutes, like, but I want to go ahead and ask it now because I think it's going to take us the rest of the way. So what do you guys think about the statement, a man marries who he wants and a woman marries who she can?
Yeah. I'll let you go first.
I don't like that statement at all. I don't feel like, I mean, of course the man is the one who has to like ask you to marry him, but we get to choose as well. Like, we get to say yes or no. So I don't agree with that statement. I feel like that is very one-sided and very
I'm gonna ask a question. It's not misogyny. We don't hate y'all.
But
there's no hatred in this.
sometimes it could come across like that, but I don't feel like that is like we get to choose as well.
But the thing is, right? If you said we get to choose as well, would you say no to a man that you absolutely want to marry?
No.
Then there's no choosing. Like,
I still have the choice to say yes or no. When you ask,
one of the choices are taken away. You're going to say, "Oh my God, yes."
no.
Well, obviously, I'm on the other side. Like, yes, we absolutely get to marry who we want to marry, and women have to choose. Like, they just get what they get, honestly, and it's because they spend the early. I feel like I always got to say, generally speaking.
Here we go.
But like, like they spend their formative years on the cock carousel. That's what.
Nobody knows what that is.
Okay. Well, his name Hook. I don't want to keep saying Hook, but like, yeah, like they spend their early years doing the wrong things, and
like what?
Like,
don't get that man sense in here.
Right? Yeah, I'm trying to I'm trying to remember where we at. Like, this ain't Rumble or nothing.
He work with women.
I gotta like
he work with women. Don't do that to him.
I gotta say, like, so, like, yeah, like they stay. They spend the early years like doing the wrong stuff. You said like what, like having sex, having like a lot of the wrong stuff. Y'all know what the wrong stuff is, man. I don't know how to verbally say it right now without no.
We know what the wrong
like,
stuff is. We know.
Like that.
So this is what he says. The reason that like things are, I guess, stretched out as far as women are concerned is because we spend our formative or our prime of our lives dealing with F-boys, and then we wait until we get older and
nobody wants y'all.
And we want to settle down But somebody, like, that's the thing about it. There's always somebody that's going to.
But it's not
want
the
it.
one that you wanted when you were 22, 23, 24. It's the one that you got when you 34, 35. And we just go call it what it is. Like, I understand. Like, she says this a lot. Like, oh, if this was early on, no, we wouldn't have been married. I'm fat. I already know that, right? Like, I've been fat my whole life, but my whole life I've been getting who I wanted. But I understand the art of strategy. Like, a lot of women don't. Like, we have to know when is best. We have to know what is best, and we know how to obtain what is best when it is best for you to obtain it. But women don't necessarily know how to do that.
I don't agree.
But how many times have we heard women say, "Oh, that was during my whole phase"?
Oh,
You know, like you've never heard a man say that was my whole phase, but women say that because they and again, this isn't for all women, but some women they feel that they need to get all of that out of their system. But I'm along the lines of Sav. I'm like, shit, after you done did all that, like
I
you
don't
expect
want
me to wipe?
to.
So,
Right.
but that's
No.
a complete understanding
You expect me to wipe it?
Hey,
okay, men are too, or whatever the word is, masculine to be able to even say that I had a quote unquote whole phase. Number one, men are not going to like even for y'all to say it. Like I'm like, it's okay, y'all was cooking in the street. Like it's okay for y'all to be able to be like, when I was out there doing my like, it's okay for y'all to say that. But every woman's whole phase or whatever it is doesn't necessarily have to be in her 20s. There are some women that decide, oh, I got a divorce, I'm free. I in my 40s, my kids are older.
And they will never marry again. They too far gone.
But that's their choice. That's their choice. Like there are several men that could ask them and they could be like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
And it would be Henry off the side of the street.
And the other thing about
he's serious, taking her serious. She's already 40 plus and divorced and out here having a whole phase in your 40s. Ain't nobody taking you serious. Not the man you want to take you serious. Somebody may, but it sure is not going to be the man you want to actually take you serious.
So
he's going to be sticking his head out the drive-through, asking for your number.
so this is where we disagree, okay? This is where we disagree.
I know you're lying.
So here's the reason why we disagree, and I want you to think about this logically, okay? I've said this. I wish my sister and brother-in-law were on the Zoom too. I hope they are, because I've shared this numerous times. I've never entertained a woman's number because I don't care, right? And if women behave like men thought they should behave, there would be no one for us to have these flings with. So when you think about the idea of women being promiscuous, you're saying she shouldn't. But in college, you would go from room to room, women to women, with no thought about wifing any of them. So my question has always been to you: if you automatically think a woman should say no to having premarital sex, why are you trying her? Because if you think that she should be chastity belt up and have one partner or two partners before she meet you, that's on you. But I don't know. I don't want you to be 250, but I don't ever ask the question because I don't care. Because I want you. And
I don't ask the question either, but I watched the mannerisms.
Listen,
I watched the mannerisms for sure.
See, if you went to Burke or North Charleston or Garrett,
I went to Patriot.
Listen, your perception of D'Angelo will be totally different, right?
Yeah.
The D'Angelo that you know and that Shanae have watched the growth from Burke to the person I am today, I am totally different for who I am, because I was one of those people. Like those people, I took what you gave me. I treated you the way you wanted to be treated. So I've never been entertaining or value a woman based on her sexual encounters. That's never who I've been as a person. But I can tell you the one thing that I've always been blunt about, and that is, as long as you're open and honest with me, we can fix everything else. And if you if I met my wife, she was a virgin, and she told me point blank, no, not doing this, not doing that, not doing this. And I said, I respect that, but you're not my girlfriend, so that doesn't mean that I'm gonna have to wait. So it's communication again, communication. So we were honest with one another from the get go. And when she made the decision and we took that step, it was like you and I. So I think that's what we disagree for the first time ever. Because I look at your podcast all the time. I'm like, man, that's me. But I think men should get off of that high horse about who a woman been with. If you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, or if you're taking care of her and any other needs, and she's okay with you, guess what? Either you're the biggest thing in the world to her, or she's gonna lie to you that you're the biggest thing in the world.
You number 12. That's all.
Listen.
It's one of those two.
Listen. You just.
But
you
the
just
thing is, I don't think it's about necessarily being inquisitive and asking how many people you've been with. Because honestly, I don't even want to know.
I don't want to know at all.
Because if I ask and I hear the wrong number, I'm automatically. I ain't even gonna ask. Now, what I will ask, I ain't even gonna lie. Like, because obviously you get into the conversation like, where are you from? Yeah, I'm from Allendale. What I'm gonna say is, you know anybody from Allendale? and then when they say, yeah, I know, I'm like, who do you know from Allendale? They give me a name. How do you know this person?
Right.
And if they say they dated, listen, that's off limits because because everybody from Allendale knows everybody, and I ain't even trying to go there because I know how dudes from Allendale roll. I already know that. You know what I'm saying? But conversely, though, like how many times have you going home? Let's say I go to Allendale, right? And I see a woman who in Allendale we call them drop shots, who are women who are been with multiple people. We call them drop shots. So we done seen a bunch of drop shots and they married and we're like,
jeez,
really? You know what I'm saying? But the thing is though, but to him, he don't know that. So to him, he don't know. So shit, for all we know, we don't know whether we got drop shots or not. Because I'm not gonna ask. I don't even want to know. But
I think to a point in a relationship, like how Dean was talking about, like it's not like a direct number, but it's like we have these types of conversations, and I think he's more kind of timid to have specific number types or whatever. But for me, it's like, but yeah, because he's the one that but for me, like that, just like you said, that doesn't really matter. Like we can make sure we get like as adults, we're gonna make sure we get like tested in the beginning of our dating time, and then we like go from there. That's what's most important or whatever, and we're gonna have those types of conversations as well. Like when's the last time
even with that, I'm gonna be like, dang, you gotta take a test.
When's the last time you like no, we are going together. So it's like, that's just like you just gotta, you gotta, like, we're adults, so you got like we've been having sex. Like, there are things that we talk about and that are going to unfold as our relationship unfolds or whatever. But it's like, yeah, we have those conversations, not necessarily like body count, because I don't feel like that's something that this is just my opinion. I don't feel like it's something that adults worry about or should worry about. But I feel like if you're making the decision based off of the person's lifestyle, what they are, what they bring to the table, how you value them, then that wouldn't really matter.
Yeah, I don't even want to know.
We value you as a woman completely differently than how we would value you as my woman. That's something completely different. If you're just a woman, I'm going to treat you respectfully. If you're my woman, I'm going to watch my mannerisms before I take you into my inner place and introduce you to all my people. And you know some of my people in the way you shouldn't know some of my people to say you with me. So it's a little. I understand what Dean's saying, but like, no, I ain't trying to. I don't mix and match.
Walk down Charleston and be like, yo, you fool up for having heard her on.
Right, exactly. And this has been great dialogue, man. I really appreciate it. And before we head out, I want you guys to give some parting shots. Like, what are some things you want to leave with the viewers in terms of this actual topic, in terms about men or women living more authentically?
If you are not, as a woman, if you're not in a place where you have the privilege or the opportunity to learn early what you should expect from a man. Make sure that you are breaking that generational curse and you are teaching your children, whether they are girls or boys, teaching them how to have a standard, what their standard should be, encouraging them, building their self-confidence, helping them with all those things, because it will save them a lot of heartache in life. I feel like if that's something that they know as early as possible.
Yeah, and I'll stay along the same topic. Like, bro, take care of your kids. Like that's it. If you can take care of your kids, they will in turn take care of their kids. I'll just leave it just like that.
All right, for sure. Dean, what about you?
Two things. One, it would be remiss for me not to do this. So May 5th, go to Capital City Alpha's page, the link here, and on one of our social media platforms. We are having a derby. We would love for you guys to come out and be our guests and have a great time with us. Please get your tickets. On this topic, I think more so of it's going to be, is the man ready for the type of relationship that he needs to be and to be authentic with the woman he wants to be with? So if you have a situation where the guy is just more so of still playing games with you, again, we don't date potential. We don't do any of that in this household. My daughters know that we are goal oriented, and we don't drag boys into men. So that's it.
That's it.
Good stuff. And pretty much all I'll say is, and I know this was a fun topic to really talk about, but honestly, it doesn't matter how you get to where you are, whether, men, women love more authentically, or who said I love you first, or who loves who more. The fact is we're here now, you know what I'm saying? So like if you meet somebody that you bond with, that you mesh with, and you guys are building a future, building a life together, I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that it's unfortunately is not something that everybody gets to experience, but I think that's it's a wonderful thing. I think we're all of us on this panel are married. So obviously we go through our ups and downs, but I think at the end of the day, we're more than satisfied with who we chose to live the rest of our lives with. And before we head out, man, I just got 2 words for everybody. Bang, bang, baby. Let's get this win. Let's get this dub Sunday. Hey, let's get this dub Sunday. But again, this was a great conversation, man. Sav, Sinead, thank you guys for coming on. I hope that you'll join us again in the future. We're going to continue to check you guys out. And tell us again, what are the days of your podcast?
So it's called Let's Talk Tuesday. So every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on Facebook Live, we will be having a show the third Tuesday, and every month it's going to be my husband and I talking about relationship stuff. So that's where we'll be.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I'll make sure we definitely check you out. Again, thank you guys so much. And we'll see you guys again next month. So until then, take care.
All right.